I have a friend who's, I'm not going to name his name. He's very jealous. He's very possessive. He's a possessive guy. Every time his girl goes out, and he's dating an attractive girl, and he tends to date attractive girls. Every time that a guy talks to his girl, he's like, "Go, bro, let's go fight this guy." I'm like,
"Oh my God."
I go back up for a second. Your girl's very pretty. Would you rather guys pay zero attention to your girl? Yeah, that's what I want. I go, well, you now date an ugly woman.
There you go.
Congratulations, buddy. No, I don't want to date an ugly woman. Then fucking deal with it,
that's
guy.
Right.
Now you need to develop trust with your woman, so when she gets hollered at, like beautiful women do, she says, I have a man, and, I thank you for the compliment. But again, men are visual creatures, okay? They're going to approach women. Now, what you're talking about is, and you might weigh in on this as well, what is viewed as these days as toxic masculinity. I'm sure you've been referred to as toxic masculinity, okay?
Yeah, of course.
So break that down. And because essentially, I forgot who made the analogy here, but like in the Ukraine right now, okay? There's a war going on. If you guys aren't, okay? Who's fighting in the war?
The men, Adam.
The men, okay? Women and children, like in the Titanic, men, you go last.
That's right.
Women and children, you get on the boats first. You're not complaining when the men have to go to war or when they can't go onto the life rafts, right? But it's toxic masculinity when they approach you in a park. Okay, so break down toxic masculinity and why it maybe not even be a thing. It's just masculinity.
It's not a thing. Yeah, toxic masculinity is a first world problem. You will find that the poorer a nation is, the more closely they align with traditional gender roles. The United States of America is one of the richest countries in the world, one of the most powerful countries in the world. We have done such a fantastic job civilizing the world that there are actually women in the world who believe that they do not need men. There was a show, I think, on Netflix called Y, as in the letter Y, as in Y chromosome. All of a sudden, the men disappeared. I could not believe that I actually saw this. The power grid shut down, the sewer system shut down, things of that nature. Now, I'm not saying that men are superior to women. No, men and women, are men and women equal? That's the wrong question. Men and women are different. Things that we bring to the table, women generally do not, and vice versa. Men and women are better together. So when it comes to toxic masculinity, and you'll see in one of the skits that we play, that you guys play on our TikTok, when it comes to toxic masculinity is only used as a convenience. We want traditional masculine roles when it suits us, but then when it doesn't suit us, then we want to call you toxically masculine.
There's another definition of toxic masculinity as far as and women like to say this, men can't be emotional. They try to say, okay, well, if guys can't show their emotions, if guys can't be vulnerable, then that's toxic to them and it's damaging their mental health. That might be true to a point, but any woman who is around a man who is constantly showing vulnerability, showing his emotions, showing, his feelings and prioritizing them is not going to be attractive to a woman.
Really?
So these women are almost like encouraging men to become even less attracted to them.
And it's funny, on the back end, then we have women like Janita wondering why are men not planning dates? It's just like Devin said. Masculinity is literally being legislated out of today's men. So until that changes, you're going to have to be the one to plan these dates.
I'm not planning shit.
You just triggered Janita.
Here we go.
I'm not planning shit unless I ask you out. Okay, now then I plan and I pay and I
Your
do all
idea,
that
you're
shit.
done.
I'm whatever. It's whatever.
How often do women ask men out, percentage-wise? Would you guess?
At the end of the day, probably maybe 10%. If that.
-4%?
Negative. Women do not do that.
That's absolutely
no, it's not.
true.
I've had women ask me out. Like, I met a woman.
Now.
You know what? No, you're right. Women have had to start asking guys out because when guys ask women out, they get hit with harassment suits and things of that nature.
Yeah, but I feel like there's a spectrum there. Okay,
Yeah.
like I live in South Beach.
Okay.
I'm in the bars. I'm in the clubs. Anyone who knows me in Miami knows I'm out there. And I'm very respectful and I like banter and hey ladies, how we doing? And it's in a very gentlemanly fashion.
Right.
If you come correct, there's no lawsuits coming your way.
But
if you're a creep.
Correct,
and women got a creep radar.
Yes.
Like, how like there's gaydar or whatever. Gay guys got that. I don't know about that. But women have a creep radar and they'll be like, this guy's fucking creepy, okay?
But it depends on how attractive he is.
Thank you, because I was just gonna say, he fucking ugly.
There you go.
Okay.
And that's really what
and
this
so
is.
it's an excuse. You're harassing me. That means you ugly.
Right.
As hell.
I'm not attracted to you.
Not
It's
my
interesting.
type.
I don't know what the percentages are, but they say the worst doctors are the best people. As far as malpractice lawsuits are concerned, the doctors that get sued the most for malpractice are doctors who have terrible bedside manner. They're just assholes. They could be the world's greatest thoracic surgeon, but if he's an asshole, he's more susceptible to a lawsuit. Well, it's the same thing with unattractive guys. You can have two men walk up to the same woman using identical lines and all this other kind of stuff. The guy who's not attractive enough is going to be looked at as a creep. The guy who's attractive, isn't that sweet? He's stammering, and it's literally the same thing. Hey, I noticed you from across the room, and I was wondering if I could get your number. If you're Adam Sosnick, then she's like, oh, how sweet, blah, 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 blah.
My man.
Yeah, but if you're like Donovan Sharpe 5 years ago, she's like, 911.
Well, here's a question for you, Donovan, and ladies. I know you're chomping at the bit. I got you. Question for you. You know the 1 through 10 scale. Everybody knows about this,
Sure.
okay?
Yeah.
Would you say that guys know their score?
I think that men generally undervalue themselves and women overvalue themselves.
Okay.
And the reason for that is because there's no such thing as a plus size male model, right? And there shouldn't be. I'm not trying to buy draws if I see a dude my size wearing those draws. You understand what I'm saying? But by the same token, women are taught to feel good about themselves no matter what. Like Janita. Fantastic figure. We have women who are literally 4 times Janita's size, like, I don't know, maybe Lizzo, and every time she takes a bikini picture, Lizzo smolders the internet with a red hot. Well, of course, if Lizzo gets that kind of pub, then of course the average rank and file girl who's probably a 5 thinks she's a 7.